Well, how exciting that we are starting a podcast. I've been wanting to start a podcast for a very long time as a personal passion project because I remember going through a really hard time in my life. And all I could do at night was, listen to personal development videos. Sometimes after you put the kids to sleep and after your day is done, you want to relax. People oftentimes, right, they go on Instagram or they will put on a good TV show or movie. At that time in my life, I couldn't absorb any type of storyline, and oftentimes for entertainment, movies can be really emotional, good or bad, or storylines of a single mom. I didn't want to hear about that. Storylines of gossip, like, the Kardashians. I didn't want any of that type of storyline in my spirit and my soul. I couldn't handle it, I guess. And so I found myself at night a couple years ago, and I would fall asleep to personal development shows, not even shows, I guess, like YouTube videos and things, and even music, just watching music on repeat, I'd fall asleep to it. And so that's what we're doing here. I wanted to create content because what I want to hear is real stories of real women with real character. And so I also have had the opportunity to become a speaker, and I love teaching audiences about emotional regulation. I teach a 3-step system on that. I love teaching about storytelling. That comes into play with my personal background on, being a performer and an actress and performing at the theme parks, very story heavy. And I also love talking about how you can become a woman or a person of character. And I really feel like I've identified 5 different pillars of what that entails, which are faith, self, health and fitness, wealth and finance, and relationships. We can't do all of those 100% all the time. It's not possible. So there's a disclaimer right off the bat. But I really feel like we do have to put some energy into those buckets and pillars at all times in order to really be a solid, strong person of character. And at the end of the day, just to go into it already, at the end of the day, I can walk away from any day, any situation, circumstance, knowing, okay, I put my best into this situation. I put my best into this relationship today. So either way, I digress for the moment, but that is what we are here talking about today. Being a woman of character, emotionally regulating. I think that is a very hard thing for people to do, some more than others. And I think people aren't even aware that they need help in that area. I wasn't, for sure. So that's what we're doing here. I want to hear, from real women about life and how to be better and just stories of hope that are real. So like I always say, in a world full of Kardashians, let's be an Esther or a Cinderella, if you will. So I want to ask you a little bit about yourself. So I kind of have some questions here that we can look at. But tell me a little bit more about you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for having me on here.
Yes.
I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
It's amazing, especially now I'm a first-time mom. So it's important to me to surround myself with good community and just strong women. So it's amazing that you're doing this and preaching on that is just amazing. So my name is Heather. I'm a first-time mom to a 6-month-old boy. His name is Easton, which is amazing. And I'm also married. My husband and I have been married for a year and a half. And we're just doing life together.
Beautiful.
I feel like trying to manage being a parent and everything that comes along with that.
Yeah. And a new wife.
Yes,
like you had
for
a baby pretty quick after you got married.
Yes, we did. We literally had our baby 2 weeks after our first year anniversary.
Oh my gosh.
So the timing there is crazy.
Yeah. You know what? I don't even think that. So on a side note, I've been so fortunate to work with you on my entertainment company. You work with me there too, which is fantastic.
Right.
And you have been such a huge support to me because I really do look at you as a woman of character, and I'm going to cry already. But you have had faith in me and the passion projects that I, am entertaining, and you've supported me so much along the way. So it's awesome to have you here, like I said earlier. But even though I've, known you for a bit of time now, I don't know the story of how you found out you were pregnant.
Oh, yeah. So
I don't know that story.
At the time, I was trying to get into physical therapy assistant school through CF, and that was my main goal. So I was working at a physical therapy clinic, and I had actually just put my 2 weeks notice in, and I was like, bye guys, I'll be back when I'm a, physical therapist. Yeah. And then I put in my application, submitted everything, and I got back that I got in. So I was just preparing for that. And I just started feeling off and started feeling just kind of, sick right off the bat. For sure, you know that. And so I took a test. We kind of joked, me and my husband. I was like, I'll just take one, whatever. And so I took one in the morning. I was supposed to wait for him, but I was too nervous. So I took one in the morning when he was asleep. And so I'm just sitting in there, and I'm just thinking this is my plan. This is my goal. Kind of contemplating what I would do if I am or if I'm not, what my feelings would be. Yeah. And so I see the test on there, and it says pregnant. Oh. And I just kind of I've always wanted to be a mom. So, but there's just that sinking feeling where you're just wow. And it's just so surreal. You're like, oh my gosh, this is real. And I remember going out to my husband, and I was like, babe, quick, there's a bug on the counter. You need to go get the bug on the counter. And so he's half awake, stumbles in the bathroom, and he's looking at the counter, and he's like, where's the bug? And I'm like, babe, it's right there. Look, just totally missing the test. And so then he sees the test, and he's immediately excited, which is amazing, because that was the comfort that I kind of needed. Of course. At that moment. So, and then we very quickly told my mom. We kind of kept quiet for a long time. I think we waited till past 3 months to tell people, just because I did just have a lot of emotions about it, and a lot of just self-reflections about it that I was trying to work through because I wanted to be very excited about it. And I am. And now that he's 6 months old, I wouldn't want it any other way. No. So
yeah, I didn't even realize that story was going to be so abundant for so many reasons today, because truly what I heard from you is that things did not go according to plan. That wasn't your plan to get pregnant that fast after getting married. And, there is, even if you had it planned, which some women do and are fortunate to be able to plan that. But even if you do plan that, that does change your world. 100%. So that is one thing, again, I love talking about and teaching about how you navigate life when things don't go according to plan. Actually women in general, feminine energy, if you look into any of that, or just the biblical sense of being a woman and feminine, and just our nature, psychology and things, say that women can be naturally controlling. And I've always been I am not controlling. I'm just, that's not me. I'm not controlling. I'm not, sometimes I'm a type A personality when I need to be that, but not all the time, every day. But I actually have realized, wow, that is pretty true. I do try to control more than I realized. Yeah. So I've actually tried to change that about myself and be more aware of going with the flow with life, and truly God does have the perfect timing and plan and purpose. And definitely, oftentimes we can look back, even me now, the past couple years have been a lot of change for me, a lot of growth. And I've been asking myself, what has been the purpose of these past few years? What has all this been for? Right. Growing a business, growing little ones on my own. I'm what is this? What are we doing here? I want to be 10 steps ahead already. And recently I finally got that clarity and relief of, all these lessons that I've learned have been so purposeful to be here even now today with you. Yeah. So it's wild to see, that purpose and the timing with everything in life come into play, but there's always a lesson to learn. Definitely. And, so tell me a little bit about how you navigated that unexpected news.
So, telling my parents was a really big thing. My mom, I always lean on her. So telling her first was just to I I have this problem sometimes where I can't regulate my own emotions. Like I have a hard time sitting down and telling myself, what do you feel about this? Instead of seeking other people's opinions or emotions about it.
Yeah.
So for me at the time, I was more on just like fear. I was like, we're so young. I mean, we didn't plan this. So if I didn't plan it, I'm not ready. And which is not true.
Oh my gosh.
And so, and just that was really heavy on me.
Yeah.
But really leaning into like who God says I am and leaning into like my core values first really helped me to get out of that. Like, no, you are equipped for this. Like God made you Easton's mom for a reason. And I had my mom to remind me that as well, which is amazing. I think in that situation, having community around you with people that have the same values and same beliefs can really help you in a moment that you're kind of doubting yourself.
Yes.
So that helped a lot. And of course, like my church and my family, friends, they helped as well, telling them. And then the more and more I told people, the more I got excited. And I was like, I am ready for this. I can't do this. And just all those little things that you do to prepare for a baby just made us more and more excited.
Of course. And like you now know, having now a 6-month-old, no matter if you plan it or not, you're never ready.
Yeah.
Like the concept of being ready, I think honestly, the concept for being ready in anything in life is just false. Like it's this false maybe control that we think like, okay, I'm ready because I planned this. Like, no, baby, like you're still not really ready because no one can prepare you for motherhood. No one can prepare you fully for marriage. No one can fully prepare me for owning a business, you know, because there's always growth involved and it's hard. You can't really prepare for growth, you know? It's just something like the waves, they just come and you have to take them as they come and you can fight it or not. I suggest not. I have a lot of experience fighting the waves and that just makes you so tired.
Yeah.
You know, of course there's that struggle, you know, and that's normal. Like even me, I'm like, sometimes I find myself like this friction, like when I'm in a season of friction, I can get so frustrated, you know, irritable, sharp with my kids, you know, everything's going wrong in my life right now. Like, feeling within my spirit, but like when I bring myself, like you said, to that awareness, you know, stage, or when you ask yourself, wait, how am I feeling about it? You know, you realize, oh, like there's a lesson I'm supposed to be learning here. Oh, this was part of the plan. You know, I didn't think it was, but no, this literally is the plan. Oh, so, and also, I don't know if you watched Bluey yet with your son.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
Yeah, don't start the TV too early. But Bluey, right, it's this phenomenon. And I think it teaches kids how to be kids and parents how to be parents. It's actually a lovely show. I know so many adults who watch it and they don't even have kids. But truly the other day, it was on in the background. I think I was cooking dinner and I was like, get out of here. And the kids are watching TV. And it talked about, I think Bluey's dad says it, and I'm taking a moment to say it so I say it correctly. But in the episode, Bluey's dad says something about the distraction. So he was like, it was something about to the effect of, now I'm going to have to Google it and like write it in the comments of this video. But it was something to the effect of like, no, this distraction isn't actually a distraction. It's the path. Like the distraction isn't to get us off the path. The distraction is supposed to get us like on the right path. So again, like when you found out you were pregnant and you were like, no, this was the path. Like this disruption, it's not distraction from the path. It's not taking you off course. It's literally getting you on course.
Definitely.
And if we look at that from a biblical sense, we know that that's true of like, how many times has God stripped away a friendship, a relationship, a job, a situation in your life? You know, how many times has God like taken things away and you feel like, what is this, you know? And it's like, no, like that's literally God's plan. So if you surrender to that, I mean, everything's easier, but surrender is very difficult, right? Because
Yes,
again, like
definitely.
we're like kind of built for control, but it's even what you mentioned earlier, the fear piece, and we want certainty. And I forget this concept so many times. And I actually was recently reminded of it too. But I've always said this because it's something I've learned, that when you make friends with uncertainty, life is so much more peaceful. That doesn't mean you have all the answers. That doesn't mean there's not some fear. But when you can make friends with uncertainty, like you can just live life again without that controlling piece, which just, you know, makes you more peaceful. Everyone's more peaceful. I'm trying to just live more peacefully. I'm even teaching my children right now, like, let's learn to go with the flow a little bit more. Like plans change. You know, sometimes as moms, like we have to be on a timeline, right? If there's a doctor appointment, sorry, baby, we do have to rush out the door. You do need to get your shoes on right now, like right now. But even me, I'm trying to just, okay. Like even my son the other day gets in the car, has these like Adidas flip-flops on that were probably $2 on clearance, you know, and he's trying to go to church with these shoes on. And I was like, babe,
not today.
Not today. Like those aren't the right shoes. But we're literally, of course, late for church and we're driving down the road. And I'm like, babe, next time, can you put on some different church appropriate shoes? Like I didn't make a big deal out of it. But anyway, kind of a side story, but it's so funny. Also, you mentioned emotional regulation. And I think that's a beautiful thing that you've just told to me, that you have learned how to check in with yourself.
Yes.
And okay, how am I feeling? I think oftentimes women, right, we have hormones, emotions, life circumstances, we have partners and we have kids, like jobs sometimes, like and friendships. There's so much going on in life. So to be able to learn the skill of kind of stepping away to yourself and saying, okay, how am I feeling? What's going on in my spirit and soul? I always check myself, right? If I'm getting sharp with my kids or if I'm just in like a bad mood and like one of those everything's going wrong kind of days, I'm like, okay, what's going on in my spirit that's getting me here?
Right.
Because I don't want to live in that place. Like nothing good can come from that place if you stay there for a long time.
Yeah.
So to get yourself to a baseline, a solid baseline, we're not going to be happy, you know, and happy, like positive toxicity, but like being down here, it doesn't help anything either. So when we can emotionally regulate and be at this nice baseline, everything else in life is just a little bit easier.
That's good. Yeah. And you have little ones watching you.
Yes,
as well,
you do.
Which I think pushes you, at least for me, it pushed me to want to be better. Like I wanted to be better anyways, but now that I have an example to set and it really just makes you take a step back and reevaluate.
Yes, absolutely.
And I love what you said, that you're trying to like teach peace to your children, because it's so important as women to like set the tone of your like household for your kids.
That's
because
beautiful.
anything that comes through you is going to go to them.
Yes.
So that's amazing.
That's beautiful actually, because I think, at least for me, I have felt this way. Sometimes I still do feel this way, right? Even I was chatting with a girlfriend about this last night, how oftentimes in motherhood and taking care of a home, right, it's not this role that gets recognized frequently. You know, you don't get to win a trip because you've cooked dinner 5 nights in a row, right? Like there aren't these incentives.
Right.
Or like sales tiers in a corporate job, right? There's no vacation time or vacation bank, or if you put in overtime because your kid's sick and up all night long, like there's no seemingly reward, like physical reward that we gain from that. However, that's why we literally have to be mindful that we're doing this unto the Lord. Like we're serving our children and our partners like as if it's unto the Lord. And that is something so like sanctifying, because it's not always easy.
Right.
But I love the point that you made about how we set the tone of our households. And that again is just like, that means we have to rise above and be so strong in who we are and our morals and why we're doing what we're doing and taking care of ourselves, because we also can't give when we have neglected ourselves. But anyway, that's just such a beautiful way that you said that about we set the tone.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you say it like that, we know that there's so much importance to our role.
Mm-hmm.
So when we feel run down and like no one appreciates us and, you know, I just tried this new meal and knocked it out of the park and everyone still wants peanut butter. Like, you know, just little things like that that can make us all feel discouraged when it's day in and day out.
Right.
And it's like, you know, those things are also expected of us. It's not, I mean, if we don't cook, who's going to cook? Or if we don't clean the house, like, you know, so it's just having a certain level of discipline and self-worth, and purpose behind knowing like, no, my role here is valuable and irreplaceable. And even if I'm not getting that accolade, you know, I mean, I guess the accolade is this outside validation piece that we kind of need sometimes, right? Words of affirmation is a real thing. And some people need that more than others, but that's just a beautiful way to kind of encompass, you know, womanhood as an adult, as a mom, as a, you know, wife that you are. So that's beautiful.
That's so good. It reminds me back to like early, like newborn stages. I know it's only been 6 months, but a lot happens.
Yes, a lot happens in 6 months.
A lot happens there. But people would come over and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm like cleaning up. And I'm like, oh, like push that away. Like I'm not normally like this. And they're like, it's totally fine. Like you are, I think a phrase I heard was like, perfection's not the goal. Like presence is. And like you're showing up for your baby. You're doing what you need to do. Like the laundry can wait, as frustrating as it is, but you know, that's just a good reminder.
Absolutely.
I'm here for him. You know, I'm loving him, doing all the things I need to do.
Yes. Well, that's the most important thing, you know, like your baby, like my kids, I know this, they notice when I'm with them, but I'm not really with them. They notice when I'm with them, but my mind is on the task list. Or I'm like trying to think of like the next thing that I'm doing in business or the Zoom call that I had earlier that day. Like they know when I'm not actually with them. And so then it's like, well, then I might as well just remove myself and go put myself in another room if I really have that much task to do. Because otherwise, I don't know, it creates this like divide and this lack of connection. So then no one's getting their needs met. Right. Very interesting.
That's good.
But I like that. Presence over perfection. That's a great tip. I need to write that one down. So tell me a little bit more about, let's see here. We have some fun questions. Okay. So maybe one question that we could go over is like, what's your biggest lesson learned in all of this so far?
Oh, there's so many.
I know. Right. Like you said, 6 months, a lot happens in 6 months.
It does. It's coming to me as like comparison, I think, because I struggled with that a lot before having a baby. And it's like one of those moments where you're like, oh, I thought I was past that. Like I thought we already got to the issue there. I thought we already, you know, nipped that. But then just so many things come up. Every baby is different. Oh my gosh, babies are so different.
Yes, they are.
So it's like, oh yeah, I used to babysit. Totally different.
Totally
different. The things I did.
No.
Babysitting with, you know, I mean, you can do certain key components, but just I had a lot of people around me have babies at the same time, which is amazing. Great community.
Yes.
But I think sometimes you can get into this moment where if things are not going according to your expectation, you start to compare, which can just lead you down a whole rabbit hole. Yes. So I think what's helped me is I kind of stop myself in the track and I'm like, you know what? Easton is different and you're doing the best you can do for Easton. And that's all you can do. Like one of the biggest things is he's still not sleeping. Like, I mean, we're up every hour. Yeah. Coffee is my best friend. Yes. But I have some other friends where they're like, oh yeah, he sleeps 6 hours or 10 hours or 3 hours. And I'm like, what I would kill for just 3 hours. I know. So, that is really hard. Yeah,
it is. Yeah. Comparison. I definitely can struggle with that too. And I think these, like, we all have natural tendencies of things that kind of, not hurt us more, but maybe we struggle with more, right? Like maybe somebody else really has comparison on lock. Like they don't deal with it. They're so confident. They definitely know like I'm on this track, you're on that one. I don't even think about your track. That's not me. But
Me neither.
right, there's always a way to combat that, right? So with comparison, how you combat that is self-confidence and contentment. So that's the beautiful thing about, you know, we talk about character here in so many different ways because, right, I was a character performer and characters have a story. Every single person has a story. Not only that, but we're all telling ourselves a story in our minds on a regular, consistent basis that we're probably not aware of. But then you look at character in the word of like character traits and qualities. And so and characteristics and then virtues, you know, people kind of use that word interchangeably, virtue and character. But, you know, if you are really struggling with comparison, jealousy, then you really need to deep dive on, so it's not like you can just wake up and not like, I'm just not going to compare today. Yeah. It doesn't just go away. It's something you have to actively work on. I've had to do this. I've actively worked on contentment, confidence, self-worth. And again, like when you can deep root yourself in those strong character qualities and you become so solid in who you are, the comparison is a little softer.
Right.
And you can kind of look at it and acknowledge it and be like, oh, that's still here, but you don't have to pick it up. Like you know what? I remember, so I became a single mom and I took myself to the beach, after I was, you know, divorced, guess just say it. But after I was divorced, I took myself to the beach just for a weekend with me and Jesus. I don't know if I've ever told you this.
No, I don't think I've heard this one.
And it was a beautiful weekend, so peaceful, right? Just worship music and the ocean waves and just needed some alone time to just, you know, kind of reset and a lot of different things. It's very purposeful, but I was able to walk the beach by myself and I picked up some seashells and I took a Sharpie marker and I wrote on a lot of them like, okay, my finances, okay, my kids, both of their names, my family. Like I didn't have my own house at the time. I was living with my parents. So I wrote down a home, just all these concerns that I had, all these things I was dealing with, all these struggles that I was, you know, facing. And I just wrote all of those things by name on a seashell and I threw them in the ocean. Wow. And I was like, God, you can have it. Like, I don't want the control, even though I try to control. I don't actually want the control. Like, you know, you can have it. So it was this way that I can like, you know, a physical action of showing the surrender I was trying to, you know, have in my life.
That's amazing.
But I remember a couple times I threw like the seashell and I'm no professional athlete. And so a couple of them, like I washed up and I could see, oh, that was obviously a seashell I threw. There's something written on it. And I just remember I like looked at it and I was like, I'm not going to pick it up. Like, I'm not going to pick it up. That's the same thing. Like when, you know, we have a choice. If the comparison pops up for you today or tomorrow, we have the choice to literally, it is difficult, but that's where discipline comes in. And that's where, just like when you go to the gym, it's literally not fun. I work with a personal trainer and I will message her and say, I'm here, but I'm not having a good time. Like I'm really not having a good time.
Right.
But I do it anyway. So same with like the comparison, when that pops up, I can acknowledge it. It's there. We're not going to pretend like it's not, because then it will come back stronger. But I'm going to look at it and not pick it up. I'm not going to lean into it. I'm not going to let my mind unravel down that path. It's not a good path.
Right.
In the moment, it can feel satisfying, but that's where we know we have to emotionally regulate, because we can really become overindulgent in sitting in comparison or negativity, or, you know, sometimes it feels good to vent, but the more positive, you know, we spin the story, that's how the story will end. If we're focused on the negative, like that's how the story is going to end.
Right.
So that's where that storytelling piece comes in briefly.
It brings me back to the verse of like, comparison is a thief of joy. And I love that you mentioned like the seashells like coming back, and thinking in that moment, like, I'm not going to go there. Like, you already cut that off. Like the root's dead. Don't replant it.
Been there, done that. Because you also have to ask yourself, and, you know, even in the seashell story reference, I said, I can like look at the seashell and say comparison is on there.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I literally know, okay, if I pick this up, this is not going to go well, right? Like, so if I pick this up, if I entertain my comparison, I'm going to be in a bad mood. I'm going to feel really horrible about myself.
Right.
My partner will probably hear it from me because I am grumpy. And my kids might not get the best version of me because I've literally picked it up. So you have to ask yourself, like, what's the cost? I say that all the time.
That's good.
Everything has a cost. What price are you willing to pay?
Mm-hmm.
Because everything, like literally everything does have a cost, right? It's costly in the morning if you wake up and decide to start your day in a bad mood. Maybe you're having a horrible day. Maybe you woke up to not great texts from a friend, your job, who knows? But it's still our choice to make the best, make the most of every situation and to still like be emotionally regulated in that moment, because the cost of choosing to be negative or in a bad mood or letting things affect us so poorly, the cost is our relationships, our kids, ourselves. Like the cost to ourselves of not being able to emotionally regulate is pretty high.
Yeah.
I mean, I talk about this so much because I know how important it is, because most of my life, I'm 35, most of my life, I have not been able to do this. Now, there have definitely been up and down seasons because we all have those, but I have not been able to do that. So I've now figured it out, not that I'm perfect at it, but I figured out a system to help emotionally regulate so that when life does not go according to plan, which it doesn't,
right?
And when things change, when, things happen unexpectedly, when you're having that bad day, my whole life, my whole day isn't ruined. I'm not burning through relationships because I'm not able to emotionally regulate. So it's so important. It's so important.
Yeah. Picking what you can control.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's literally just yourself. Yes, exactly. It is.
Good.
So give me like 1 to 3 tips, or we could even do, you could even give me like a phrase that you live by. Yeah. Think about that for a minute. Yeah. Or tips on when things don't go according to plan, or just give us like a takeaway.
So say a phrase that I live by would probably be like, leave it in God's hands. Because of that whole control aspect is he's already, you mentioned price, like he's already paid the price. He's already done that. So why are you like reevaluating that? Why are you going back to that if it's already taken care of?
Right.
So leave it in God's hands is a good one, especially with kids. I mean, they get sick. First sickness is terrifying.
Yes,
it is.
It is.
Like, and trusting in him and his control of things is a good one. Tips for when I go through a struggle. Oftentimes, my husband reminds me on this one, is I'm always looking to blame a lot of times. So that's like a big thing that I'm working on right now. Because I'm thinking back of a instance when we're driving. My kid hates the car.
Yes.
And so we stop at a stoplight, and of course the car stops moving. He wakes up from his nap. Everything is chaos.
Yes.
So
very quickly.
Yes. So we are on this long drive, and he's sleeping so peacefully, and it's like a break. It's very nice. He's sitting in the back seat, can do whatever I want to do. And we get off the highway, stop at a light. It feels like the longest light ever. It's probably only like a minute, but when your baby cries, it's like fight or flight.
Yes.
And so he starts crying, and I'm just like, why didn't you keep the car moving? And like, he has control over that. And he literally would just like kind of pause and was like, at first he thought he was joking, because he's just like, what? And I'm just so stressed that I'm like, why did you stop? Like, you should know you should be like moving and stop and moving and stop. And then after I said that, I was like, how ridiculous am I sounding? And I just kind of stopped and was like, I'm sorry. I needed to take a moment to myself. And instead I blame someone else. There's no one to blame for this, So it's just moments like that, that you just have to stop first and think, like, what can I control in this situation? And things like that.
Yeah. I even do that with my kids, right? Because we're going to have days and moments where we snap. We're not always our best selves all the time. But the beautiful thing is that you quickly, not a couple of days later, not even a couple of hours later, not even when your drive was over, you quickly were able to be like, wait a second, like, that's uncalled for. Like, I'm upset. My chaos is coming out on everybody else. But again, emotional regulation to where you can sit there, take the deep breath. No one wants to listen to their baby cry, but it just is what it is. Like, babies do cry.
Right. And it doesn't always happen like immediately. I feel like lately working on it, you are more keen to your behaviors and even marriage. I mean, Kevin will point out some things. My husband will point out some things like, do you realize you do that? And I'm like, I don't do that. Like, I'll defend it. I don't do that. That's not me. And then you sit in it and you're like, oh, I do that. You're right.
Yeah.
So when
I'm a woman of character. Excuse me.
I'm always right. When you're right.
Yeah.
So, and
yeah. Well, and taking from him, obviously you trust him. He's your husband. He's a good man. But being able to receive feedback, I don't like to say critique or criticism, even though it can be that. But I think from people we really care about and who care about us and who are in good, healthy relationships with us, like it's just feedback. Because, he's not, it can feel like an attack.
Right.
It can feel like, oh, I'm not doing enough. Oh, what, you're picking at me now? No. It's like, that's an opportunity. If we view those things as opportunities to become better for ourselves, our kids, our partners, our work, whatever it is, like if we view that as opportunity and feedback as opposed to, again, that quick, it happens so fast. It's like railroad tracks. It happens so fast. If we let that just go and if we let it just ride, it quickly can become so hot. And so why would you say that about me? I do so much for you. You don't even say, I mean, can you see how that story goes so fast? And like before you can even catch the rope, it's gone from your hands.
Right.
So again, just having the awareness of, oh, maybe I'm not emotionally regulated. Why am I getting so hot so fast? Why am I getting so angry so fast? Why am I really crying a lot lately? Like whatever, your actions are, there's a reason for that. So like what's going on within you and how can we get you to a baseline of this emotional regulation so that we're not, having outbursts like that. That's so we have a peaceful home.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, one question we did not cover. That's very ultra important.
Okay.
Who's your favorite Disney princess?
Oh, my favorite Disney princess. Honestly, it's between Anna and Rapunzel. It's always a toss up between them. But I think right now I'm probably going to go with Rapunzel.
Oh,
I
good
just love her. Yeah. She's good.
She's great.
Yeah.
She's very disciplined, right? Because she does all those chores before 7 a.m. every morning. So funny. I love it. Well, let me see here on our questions. Oh, tell me about a dream that you have. So, and let me preface this with, oftentimes I'm reminded of, when I was going through a hard time in my life and I felt like life was over. I think we can all have maybe been there at times, maybe some of us more than others. My world got rocked and I thought to myself, the story I was telling myself was life is over. And I remember telling myself, get up, mama, your babies need you, you need you. But the keep dreaming piece is what I love also talking about. So you got to keep dreaming. You have to get up, right? You still have to get up. Come on, you get to do all the laundry you have. You get to cook for your family. I hate cooking. Like I really do. I don't like it. It's not my top skill. It doesn't come easy. I don't find it relaxing, but I've changed that storyline to I love making good food for my family.
That's good. I would never guess that because you literally cooked for me before and it was amazing.
Thank you so much. You know what? Work in progress. I've been working. That was, you know what? You probably got my 2 good meals.
Yeah, we just rotate through them.
Yes, exactly. But it's a system and it works.
Yeah.
But I love talking about, yes, get up, yes, do the thing, be disciplined enough to take care of your home, to take care of yourself, take care of your kids, all the things. That's the task list that we have to do. So there's discipline for that. Then there's the keep dreaming side of things where, you know, what are we doing for ourselves? What dreams are we still pursuing as women? Like, you know, because we can become so lost in the task list of what needs to be done. Sometimes we're happy about it. Sometimes we're not, but that keep dreaming piece. So for me, you know, I started a business. I am so excited to be doing more speaking now. I still love my like working out and my dance fit classes. But tell me about like a dream of yours.
Right now, a dream of mine would probably be like long-term future goal when we're done having kids, because I love being present with them and with my son right now and staying at home. Like I'm able to do that, which is amazing. Thank my husband and thank the Lord. But a dream, I would like to go back to school. That is something that I've always strived for, to be like a physical therapist and to do that. I mean, I love being in that atmosphere. So definitely that is something that I'm keeping in my back pocket for now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I definitely can see myself doing that later. So yeah, I would say I do want to be centered more community is something that we're building right now. Especially like my women community. I mean, it's amazing to have them, especially now when you're having a baby for the first time and going through all the struggles with that. I think that's amazing. And just wanting to be that person too for another mom.
Yeah, that's so impactful. So if you can speak a little bit also to, you know, like we've identified, as the foundation, I love teaching about emotional regulation and how storytelling really plays into that. And then also that foundation builds into being a woman of character, like we said, is faith, self, health and fitness, wealth and finance, and relationships. So talk to me a little bit about that and how you have seen that all those tiers really echo one another and how they all, you know, really do build up a woman of character.
Definitely. The finance one is a big one, especially when you're, you know, planning to have a kid. Like I said, I'm really grateful that my husband has a strong job that he can, and he wants me to, if I want to stay home, which I do right now at this point in the stage. But it's like a conversation that we have to have. Like, if I do have to go back to work, like what's that going to look like? And being able to step into that. Like right now, I'm kind of leaning more into that feminine role that we talked about, which is amazing. But if I were to need to, like what would we do and what that would look like? For sure. And then I would say the health and fitness one is amazing. Like you said, you just feel rejuvenated from that. It also puts you in a different mindset. Ideally, I would love to do that in the mornings. I have a lot of mom friends that have older kids. So they're able to do that in the mornings. Right now, sleep is like a must. So it does not happen in the mornings. And I don't work out like I would love to, but still like getting out on a walk is great for both me and for my son. And just being out in the daylight, natural light is amazing. I mean, that regulates his sleep too.
Absolutely.
One of the other things that you had mentioned, what was the other things?
Like faith and self.
Okay. Faith is a big one. Because I think if you don't have a firm foundation in something, like what are you going to lean on to when you go through something hard? Which is also just amazing to have like this footprint for like how I should be as a woman, how I should be as a wife, and how I should be as a mom, which is amazing. My husband and I were leaning into what it looks like to parent right now. We're doing like this Bible study on it, which is amazing because it's like one is for a mom and one's for a dad. And what's that look like? Because obviously we have to set an example for our home, and just have that in the back of your pocket versus it can come out, or things that point back to the Bible and back to God, because that's ultimately how it should be in our house. God, you know, husband, family. So and trying to find ways to implement that is fun. And then self, definitely, like we've been talking about, is that emotion regulation. Especially I'm about to get into when he's going to be experiencing these emotions. I mean, toddlerhood. Emotions are big and wild.
They are.
So we need to have things to help our kids work through that as well. Because I'm not only working on myself, I'm trying to teach and train my kid, you know, for the future. So
yeah.
definitely.
And then the last one relationships. You've kind of touched on this already,
but
but
the community for sure is a big one. Especially now with a baby. Even before, I just try to stay like in our church. Our church is amazing. I have had so many people reach out to me, so many women, especially, which just was amazing.
Yeah.
Because it makes you feel heard and seen. You're not alone in it.
Yeah.
So having that is good. I have like a little group. We meet on Thursdays and just kind of catch up, talk about life, which is amazing. So
that is good. You have to have that community. And again, in sometimes motherhood, when we do feel like a little unseen at times, or, when we are staying at home, we don't feel as seen sometimes. So it's so important to have those valuable relationships. And also then, not to go too far down this road, but, your partner is not supposed to be the only thing to fulfill you and sustain you.
That's good.
So, and that's a lot of responsibility if we do think that, or if that's kind of our default. So we have to have other women, who understand being feminine and our emotions, and being a mom is different than being a dad, and all those things. So that is so powerful to have a community like that. Also, what was I just going to say? Something about maybe my daughter. Oh, so like you were just saying, we're learning all these things and we're becoming the best versions of ourselves, right? To then also benefit our other relationships, our partner, kids. And so my daughter is a very emotional creature, just like me. God bless her. I always say my emotions are both my superpower and my weakness.
That's good.
Don't use it against me, okay? But I always say that. And that's the same for her. She's a very emotional creature. So I'm teaching her at 5 how to emotionally regulate. Because I learned that way later in life than I would have liked. But I'm teaching her now. So with this 3-step system I've created on emotional regulation, I'm giving her tools and steps, like an actionable, list of things to do to get to that baseline, because I don't want her to, run through friendships. And I mean, even when we think about emotional regulation in regards to health and fitness, okay, if you're having a bad day, you're like, just give me the venti frappe with extra whip, and you're going to completely throw off, your goals. Maybe if you have goals for fitness and you're not maintaining or something, or if I don't feel good today, I'm just going to go to Target on a little shopping spree, but then you don't actually have the money. Being emotionally regulated does affect all of those 5 pillars that we've identified. So it's so important. And I know a lot of people are like, well, I'm not too emotional. Okay. Everyone has emotions. So I like to identify emotions as hard and soft, because some people have really soft emotions, and I can categorize that as being a little more sensitive. Maybe there's tears involved, maybe you're a little more needy. But then on the hard emotions list, you're someone who is like a little more angry, a little more sharp, a little quicker to respond, a little more harsh. So we have these hard and soft emotions that I like to talk about. So both those things are still emotions, and both of those lists can get out of hand. So even if you're someone who's like, well, I don't have a problem with emotional regulation. Okay, fine. It's still something you should probably consider. Have awareness, do a check-in with yourself. But maybe if you have a good handle on it, this system is a great way to teach your kids or your coworkers who don't know how to do this. It's definitely a learned skill, and it's a discipline. I mean, so many times I've worked with individuals, in my previous jobs, where someone's having a life crisis and it just bleeds over into our workplace.
Definitely, yeah.
Or someone's having, a really bad day. And then, even my kids are having a really bad day. Everything else kind of goes haywire because of their poor experience with life that day, because they can't emotionally regulate. So the point is that even if you are identifying as, I've got a good handle on that. That's great. So thrilled for you. Hopefully you learned that really early in life. That's what I'm trying to gift my kids with, my children with. But if not, this tool is so valuable for other people in your life. And if you have the awareness of it, you can easily spot, when you are off your baseline or when other people are too. I think that helps us with compassion, grace, understanding, and then also discipline in being able to call somebody up and out of that
That's good.
if you need to.
Yeah.
So
I love that you touch base on that, because I feel like when I was younger, it would always be like, you're so emotional. Like, you're such a girl. Like, you know, all those things
Thank
that
you.
make it so negative, but it's not. It doesn't have to be.
No,
Once you know how to co-regulate and handle those emotions, they're amazing, you know?
Yes.
And they help us with life and
absolutely
everything. So.
Absolutely. Yes. No, truly. Like, if we just want to chit chat about that for a moment, I truly am so emotional. I mean, so much so to where I don't want to watch scary movies, but I can't, because I will be scared for like 5 days after, because I feel it. I like, if someone is going through a life crisis, like I feel it as if it were me. And I've had to learn how to not do that, because that wears me out. So I can still have compassion for them, but it doesn't like deplete me.
Right.
In that sense. So again, when you can emotionally regulate, and we can't, you know, sometimes like your partner will come for you, and that's great. Sometimes you'll enjoy a lovely afternoon with your kids, and that helps. But we have to be able to take care of ourselves first, because someone isn't always going to be there.
That's good.
Some people, I mean, no one ever really knows what's going on with your soul besides you and God.
Right.
So you have to be able to emotionally regulate. But yeah, I mean, as women, we are emotional. That's what makes us, you know, the way that we are.
Right.
And it's a gift. But even with men, you know, their default is to be just a different type of energy. And that energy can go bad also. So yes, our emotions can go bad. Anything can go extreme, right? You know, anyone can go have a glass of wine and then take it too far. Like anything can go too far. Same with our emotions. Our emotions can go too far. So we have to have discipline and emotionally regulate. But it's something that's so doable. And everything else becomes abundant when we can have that baseline. So that's just what I've learned. And it's really been beautiful to see how, since I've been able to learn how to emotionally regulate on a more consistent basis, I've hit more health and fitness goals. I'm happier and more consistent. My relationships are stronger, more fulfilled. My finances are more stable than they have been at times in my life. My faith is better, right? Because I know that God is ultimately in control, that surrender piece. And then I'm missing one other pillar there. But either way, the point is, like, when you can emotionally regulate here instead of being down here, when you can be here or get to here quickly, even if you do come down here, then everything else grows and flows from there.
Yeah. I think the other one was the finance, but it's true. Like if you're using shopping to boost your mood and then you don't have the money. Just everything else then crumbles too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just, you know, and again, when you think about that, and even back to what we were saying about, you know, everything has a cost. Well, of course, a shopping spree that you can't afford has a cost. But truly, like everything has a cost to it, and a consequence almost, if you will. So absolutely.
Yeah, that's good.
So impactful. And so that's what I love. That's what I have learned. And I love sharing those principles with other women. And I love hearing from you on all of these things too. And it's just really inspiring. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.